What's up, TM Cycles family? This is, and any new YouTube followers, how are we? This is going to be not like a fancy edit of music and that. It's going to be a bit of a raw, handheld, shaky cam. Just getting on with the day. 4 weeks out from contest prep. I've just woken up. I'm going to weigh myself. Then we'll do some guided meditation. Check blood pressure. And we can go from there, have a coffee and do cardio. Weight was up as expected after yesterday's slight feed up. Blood pressure is still in a very good position. This is nearly 2.5 weeks on cycle. My systolic blood pressure seems to rocket all the time, but we are still in a fantastic position when it comes down to systolic. 127 is not too bad. Usually on a cruise it's a little bit lower than that. But I highly recommend, if you can get a spare 10 minutes in the morning, bit of guided meditation. I just put on one from YouTube. Mindfulness meditation, guided 10 minutes. Time for a coffee. Oh, you just can't beat the smell of the coffee. So what I do before fasted cardio during my coffee is answer all the members' questions on the forum page. There's usually not too many. I have recently updated the videos on the members site, so they have individual channels now, so you can type in and break down what you want to look for. So if you were to go on the steroid site, you could type in trend and it would then show videos for that particular topic. What on earth? What on earth is that car? Cardio is still at 1,000 calories a week. That's 4 250 calorie sessions. I split them up sometimes. If I don't feel like doing the whole 250 calories on a stepper or the incline treadmill, I'll do like 150 on the stepper and 100 on the treadmill, just to split it up a little bit. Mentally, it can get you through a session like that. Or you could do like 100, 150 on the bike. Right, we are all showered. Usually I will have my first meal, my pre-workout meal, around about an hour after cardio. Especially if you're using your IIFYM, you don't want to come back and consume your first meal. Insulin will negate the effects of your IIFYM, so you can prolong your meal number one. Meal number one is served with 150 grams of egg whites, 1 scoop of whey, 50 grams of oats with 1 square of the 90% dark chocolate by Lindt. We'll then consume this, wait about an hour and a half, let it digest, and then we'll have our pre-workout supplementation. Chicken run hair on fleek! Don't forget your health supplements, you bastard, otherwise you might die. 4 pills of the kidney and blood pressure stack, 4 pills of the Strom Sport Support Max, and 2 grams of krill oil. It really does help eating your oats with a small spoon compared to a big one. Testing compared to a big one. Trust me on that. Okay folks, for today's pre, we are having from the stimulatory side, Utopia, pump, Rhino pumped, and for that added additional cognitive enhancement, Alpha GPC, intra-workout, the usual Endurovol. We shall go 1 full scoop of Utopia, which will give me 200 meg of caffeine, and we'll go 2 scoops with the Rhino pumped. It's a cosmic candy and pineapple bonanza. Drink that on the way to the gym. Intra-workout, 1 scoop of Endurovol. Pull session today. A few different exercise changes. I feel like I'm exhausting, or I've exhausted quite a few in the pull since entering contest prep. So 4 weeks out, a couple of movements we are changing. So we are introducing mag pull down, close grip, seated chest row, rear delts to normal, T-bar row, and then pretty much the same. I write this out the day before, so in the evening time. Sometimes when I write it out on the day, I watch. Some of you will know what I'm talking about without having to explain what that is, but that's the Dorian Yates Blood and Guts. House music on the way to the gym, tech acid house on the way to the gym, and podcast on the way back. Frankie Wah, Get Me High. It's a good tune. First heard this premiere in Fabric last year, and then was continually messaging Steve Lawler saying, "When's it out, mate? When's it out?" Testing. 1, 2. Can you guess what it is yet? I'm gonna take this time to apologise to absolutely nobody. I'm gonna take this time to go over a question whilst there's training footage on the screen, and that question is: Hi Tom, you've started your prep 5 or so weeks later than last year's prep, but your condition has come in a lot quicker. What's been the main differences? Muchas gracias. So, one of the biggest driving factors for condition coming in that bit quicker compared to last year's prep was mine and Callum's ability to control fat mass on the off season. We could have been in a position where we pushed caloric intake up and we really ramped that scale weight up, but for the sake of what? For the sake of having a high scale weight, it's pointless. Because when you do come round to contest prep or diet, you've got to put in double the work just to get rid of the excess fat that you've gained. So we were very meticulous when it came down to gaining as much lean tissue as possible. Obviously the rate of fat mass crept up a little bit, but because we kept it tight, when I did come to drop my calories in January, it came off relatively quickly. And I, myself and Big Jace weren't meant to be competing this year. 2019 was meant to be primarily for an elongated off season, but I don't know what happened. I think I egged him on and he egged me on, and all of a sudden we're 4 weeks out and the last 3 months have been a blur. But regardless of that, an additional branch off to why I think my condition's coming in a lot better compared to last year was I've created the most stress-free environment possible during this contest prep. And by that I mean having huge emphasis on sleep and recovery, which last year, with my recovery being not as tight, my sleep not being as tight, and I really feel there's a huge correlation between being as stress-free as possible, a correlation between optimal sleep and recovery, and that having a positive impact on your body composition. And don't forget, diet plays a huge role in... Oh, Brandon Hardin's just messaged me. Just 4 weeks left offering... Oh, Brandon. Ooh, contest prep chat. Right, where was I? Diet is another sub-branch for the ability to maintain or have a much better condition compared to last year. And by that I mean, if you compare this prep to last prep, I'm not going through these elongated bouts of carbohydrate backloading, where, don't get me wrong, I think carb backloading is a fantastic tool. It really is. But when you put yourself under too much stress and you refrain from consuming carbohydrates for a too long period of time, hormonally you can get slightly knocked off. You could become ratty. You could become aggravated. And I did. And I become incredibly food focused last year. And you saw what I was like on YouTube. I was like, oh, can I fit in a Bounty bar? Can I pop across the road to Sainsbury's and get a scone and jam in? This time around, there's none of that. I don't necessarily look forward to any meals, apart from probably my last meal, which is my dark chocolate oats and peanut butter on toast. But every Sunday, I know what food I'm eating for my training and my rest days, and I'm not in this position where, oh my God, can I try and fit in this food or that food? And creating that environment is far better and puts you in a far better mental position. And then this comes back to the big IIFYM flexible dieting versus clean eating debate, where I am firmly cemented in the clean eating crowd, which may sound hypocritical. Again, don't get me wrong, IIFYM and flexible dieting has its place. If you're looking to get into condition for Ibiza, for example, or a wedding, of course you can utilise flexible dieting. But contest prep is another level of dieting, and you have to become very selfish in this sport when you contest prep, and you have to go and tap into very dark places in your mind, very dark places. Because training performance isn't quite there, you become slightly bogged down, maybe you find yourself looking at another competitor, and that coupled with flexible dieting, in my eyes, doesn't work, in the sense that if you're in a negative mindset when it comes down to contest prep and you opt for flexible diet and you might have a Pop-Tart, for example, the chances of you eating that whole fucking box are quite high. But if you're mentally strong enough to contest prep with a more flexible approach, then you crack on. I'm not saying that it doesn't have its place, but personally, having experienced and experimented both sides in contest prep, I will always opt for a quote-unquote clean eating approach. So that's just a few bullet points as to why conditions a little bit better. We kept tight on off season. We are very much focused on sleep and recovery. The supplementation side of things as well. You've got the Strom Sport Support Max Neuro, heavy dose of ashwagandha in there to relax you and get you in that state of relaxation. And then obviously the diet has been a lot tighter and a lot cleaner compared to previous preps. Sort of, I'm almost basing this contest prep on the last one. I've got my logbook here. I'm looking through my old YouTube videos. I'm taking tips of what I did before, and it's working. And we're in a much better place. And I think you can agree as well. Conditions nice for 4 weeks out. Legs and glutes probably might not be in there in 4 weeks time, but if we scrape for a qualifier and then we have an additional 4 weeks before the British finals, then I think we could do some damage. That's all from me. If there's any questions at all on this contest prep or nutrition or training or supplementation, just tap them in the comment section below, and I'll do another topic for a video. Pool session complete. 4 weeks out, so it's time to start tanning. A couple of sunbeds a week leading up to the show to get some form of base tan, even though it's not going to have a huge impact. I like getting a little bit of tan. Oh, I'm shaky. It's times like this when I like to test my blood glucose. Post-workout meal, we are consuming 150 grams of chicken, a rice pot, 125 gram, a long grain. These are the Uncle Ben's ones that come in handy, and some peppers and 5 grams of the old El Paso seasoning. I'm dying for some flavour at the moment. Lovely. Cheers. Thank you. See you tomorrow. Bye, bye, bye. Deep tissue tomorrow. Perfect. Post-workout. Ruddy lovely. Injection time. Still on 0.33 mil reoccurring. It's the first time I've seen trenbolone acetate at the concentration of 150 milligrams per mil. Usually it's 100 milligrams per mil, so it makes calculations slightly more tricky. So opting for 50 milligrams of trenbolone acetate and around 25 milligrams of testosterone propionate. More than likely that trenase will be bumped up, maybe 3 next Monday, 3 weeks out, 2 weeks out to 75 meg every other day, and see how we get on from there. Absolutely killing me out here. Cream egg brownie, look at that as well. Victoria sponge, my favourite. Bath done, Epsom salt bath done. Time for dinner. And I was going to have 75 grams of the quick cook pasta, but sometimes I get into this position in prep where you can mentally go, maybe I don't need those carbs. You can either add them onto your evening meal or your last meal before bed, or you can transfer them over to the next day, or just create the deficit even more so and get even more shredded. But those that do enjoy pasta, the quick cook pasta, it's because the shells are lighter compared to the normal penne, you can get more volume. So 75 grams of quick cook pasta is a lot more than the normal penne. Little dieting tip there. But I'm just gonna have some chicken and prawns, some peppers and some onions for dinner, and then have my usual oats and peanut butter on toast before bed. Prawns, 200 grams of chicken, some red and yellow peppers and onions. No pasta. Last meal of the day going in. We are having pretty much what we had for breakfast, which is 50 grams of oats, 10 grams of dark chocolate, 90% dark chocolate. This time we have the addition of 2 protein toast, and to hit my fats we've got 40 grams of peanut butter. So no red meat meal today, no red meat meal. That's in the fridge for tomorrow's rest day. This is my most excitable meal. Annoyingly, I've forgot the bloody peanut butter. 20 grams of peanut butter per slice. And we're sorted. Bit of Marmite. Perfect. Right, there we go. That concludes today's day on contest prep. Slightly less food than anticipated. My total macros for the day were 200 grams of protein, 146 carb and 47 fat. So I was meant to have 200 grams of carbs. Obviously we weren't going to have the pasta. Pulled the pasta away. We'll see how tomorrow's weigh-in goes. If it's quite a big deduction, we can always add it on, or we could just hold the deficit as it is. My bedtime supplementation, 1 scoop of Support Max to get in my ashwagandha. I think we've got the 60 serving tubs now on Insight, the bigger ones, which are good. Then I have my 3 capsule serving of Dr. Dean Sleep Stack. Blue light blocking glasses about an hour before bed, and picked up another pack of the Breathe Right strip. So I generally consume this, and then in about half an hour's time I'll go to bed. And during that half an hour I'll either clean up or plan the next day's session. But as tomorrow's a rest day, I'm just going to plan what food I'm having and write in what I had today and the anabolics and macros. So there we go. Any questions on the prep, you know what to do. Tap away below. Any questions, and I'll get back to you. Hey, thanks for watching. I'll see you very, very soon. Well, I'll see you at Solomon. If there's anyone going to Printworks on Friday, drop me a line and I'll see you there for a boogie. Thank you, good night. Much love.